I'll never forget this as long as I live. He says, there's a lot of hate out there. And she said, there is, Mr. President. And then he says, but there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love.
Welcome to today's edition of the Rush 24/7 podcast.
Hey, folks, how are you? I hope you had a great weekend. We're back at it.
Well, the Democratic convention in Chicago backfired on Kamala Harris, all right? Nobody's offered that point of view.
Activists planning a big protest at the DNC are now upset with Mayor Johnson for making some last-minute changes.
We don't want you to speak because you're going to be talking about the liberation of Palestine.
What we're looking specifically for are violent actors, those who are committing acts of vandalism.
Today and tomorrow are the arrival days for those rank-and-file delegates, the controlled or uncontrolled, but for the most part controlled.
We're not going out to fight the cops. I mean, we basically hope that this is going to be a non-violent situation in this park.
We will march the route, and listen, we have a philosophy in Chicago that the numbers dictate what the route is. Up until 2 p.m., when we step off, we're going to be fighting for our rights, and we're going to be fighting for that route.
They wanted to provoke a confrontation, and they got just that.
Police are brutal. Police protect the status quo, and police consider enemies of the state anybody who stands up and challenges what the police protect.
Gentlemen, get the thing straight once and for all. The policeman isn't there to create disorder. The policeman is there to preserve disorder.
A group of protesters were able to use what we heard were sledgehammers to breach that part of the wall.
Is the fencing sufficient?
We need to assess that. That's an assessment we're going to make once we clear everything.
Superintendent, you can say how many people from this location?
4.
Okay, so what is the daily media soap opera today?
Split into us versus them. That's the choice we face in this election.
I haven't seen it. I've got people telling me her reaction wasn't natural. But I'm sorry, I'm ill-equipped to comment. The fake news media will temporarily become hard news media if the decision is made that Biden has to step down. Until that time, they will be covering for Biden. They'll be making excuses for Biden. They'll be ignoring all the negatives. And finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war.
Whether or not it has any effect on the delegates inside is not known, but we really don't think there is any effect. This is Hugh Daniso, TV5 News at the Democratic Convention in Chicago.
Michelle Obama instead said she is going to devote herself to creating millions of memes. Well, I've done it. I mean, how many Rush babies have there been out here that have now become Rush adults? We hear from them every day. You know, people have been listening for 20 years, 25 years. It's astounding.
Don't complain if no one from the campaign has specifically reached out to you to ask you for your support.
Everybody's wondering, Obama had a press conference today, and everybody's wondering what he said. What in the world did he say? It's not what he said, it's what he would not say.
I am feeling ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Rush Limbaugh, and I'm from New York City. And my question is, given the fact that the first year of your presidency, we've been dragged through Travelgate, Hairgate, Nannygate, Fornigate, and now Whitewatergate, do you think we should believe a single word you say?
Or you can dodge what needs to be done.
And last night, Palestinian supporters without a city permit tried to march through the loop against police orders before skirmishes with CPD and dozens of arrests.
Thus, the night that Vice President Humphrey was to receive the Democratic Party's nomination for president was also the night of the bloodiest confrontation.
Look down at your lapel right now. I want you to do this. Put the camera back on me. Do this. When you look down, what do you see? You don't see anything because you're not wearing any ribbons. It means you're a bigot. It means you're a racist.
racist. It means you're a sexist. It means you're a homophobe. It probably means you're a white guy. It probably means you're a European. And you alone are responsible for all the ills of America. But I'm not, because I'm wearing these ribbons. I care more than you. The media did not make Donald Trump, and they can't destroy him. But the media thinks they have a formula, they have a blueprint for destroying Republican political officials they don't like. It's not going to work on Trump. He doesn't fit that mold. They're trying to every day. It's kind of comical to watch.
I'm not always convinced that I'm on the right side. I've been on the wrong side many times. You'll never hear me say I'm on God's side, or God's with me, or even I'm with God. I want to be, not sure I am. But I will say this unequivocally and conclusively: God is among us right now.